Other news now. Reports of shortages in the healthcare sector have been met with confirmation. The issue was brought to the fore by the opposition United Workers' Party. The UWP, in a release this week, called on the Minister for Health to address the critical issues plaguing the sector. The UWP indicated that the St. Jude's Hospital was facing a crisis with shortages in medical supplies and food. Chief Executive Officer Dr. Cherry Poyat says the hospital is indeed saddled with such challenges.
Many of these challenges are long-standing and based on the financing structure of St. Jude Hospital. We have been having some serious discussions with both the Ministry of Health and the Ministry of Finance, and we've had some success in those discussions. Most recently, for example, on February the 24th, 2015, we signed a memorandum of understanding with the Ministry of Health with regard to OECS pharmaceutical procurement services. This will enable St. Jude Hospital to obtain pharmaceuticals and medical supplies from OECS PPS at significantly discounted prices. And this will enable us, once it kicks in, to eliminate any supply breaks in our medical supplies and pharmaceuticals. We have to bridge the gap, however, between now and the time that we begin to receive the pharmaceuticals and medical supplies. We have taken several measures to ensure that we do this effectively.
Dr. Poyat says several measures are being explored in an effort to remedy the situation. These include developing closer relationships with other medical institutions. The hospital is also reviewing its operational procedures.
Internal procurement and inventory control systems. We have spent a great deal of time on these control systems as we prepare to transition to the new St. Jude Hospital. Right at this moment, there's an added sense of urgency to what it is that we need to do. We believe that we're up to the challenge, and we expect that even though the next 2 to 3 months will be a bit rocky, we expect to kind of weather that particular storm. Because I have a great deal of confidence in our management and especially the staff.
Dr. Poyat says while government provides a subvention to the hospital, it is not sufficient due to the high cost of health services.
The cost of pharmaceuticals and medical supplies have shot up. There has been no change in the fee structure within the public hospital system, and that is something that needs to be rectified. We are currently working with the University of West Indies to examine the costing structure at our institution, and then we'll be working with the public cooperatively as we try to rationalize how we pay for the increasingly expensive services that we provide to the general public. We have extraordinarily good relations with our public. When we moved into the stadium, I would say a significant proportion of what was needed to establish ourselves at the George Odlum Stadium, we received from the public, both from private citizens and our corporate partners. We have been, in the past several weeks, working very directly with these partners, both private and public, in an effort to get their assistance so that we can ride through the current storm that we're experiencing.
St. Jude's Hospital, the CEO stressed, remains committed to providing top quality care to the public. Meantime, the Ministry of Health has also been explaining why there has been a shortage of vaccines for infants. The UWP in its release did indicate that the BCG and MMR vaccines were not available with no clear date of availability from the authorities. However, the immunization manager in the ministry says the situation has been addressed.
Vaccines have begun arriving as scheduled because we order our vaccines to arrive in St. Lucia in the first quarter and the third quarter of every year. So as of last week, Our vaccines have been arriving. All health centers right now do have the MMR vaccine, and there have been strategies put in place to ensure that every child receives the vaccine and no child is missed. And also what I want to say is that every year, particularly during our vaccination week, we have campaigns where we go out and we ensure that maybe persons, children in particular, who were missed on the vaccination, that they get vaccinated. And last year, we had a very huge campaign, a very successful campaign, where we actually went into the schools and ensure that our children, particularly MMR, had the second dose of the MMR vaccine. So I need to say again that we do have MMR right now from last week, and all facilities, health facilities, do have the vaccines. So if you have not been called for your vaccine, you can contact the health facility.
The two vaccines, she explained, have a shelf life of 1 year, unlike others, and as such, the stock must be replenished more frequently. Despite the brief shortage, there was low risk of disease outbreak, according to the official.
Where we can order a very large supply and for it to be in stock. So this is another reason why we can have interruptions in our supply. And also in addition to that, there are other logistics, for example, interruption in our cold chain. So all of these issues can affect our supply of vaccines. However, I am very pleased that the public is concerned about the children being vaccinated. And let me just say that we've been communicating that in the media for some years now, that our vaccination coverage has been 95 to 99%, which has been excellent for us, and it has met PAHO's expectation of the recommended schedule for vaccination among children. And the other thing I also want to say is that, not that in addition to every child being immunized, when we have a greater number of persons in a community being vaccinated, we have something called the herd immunity, which the community at large is protected. So we do understand the concerns and the fears of the public. However, we need to reassure them that our risk of any outbreaks or having any case of those childhood diseases is very, very low.
The immunization officer in the Ministry of Health there.